Zaid Grayson didn't do kindness. At least that's what Blackridge Academy believed. He was the kind of boy whose silence felt louder than other people's shouting. Expensive shoes, perfect grades, a name that made teachers straighten their posture before speaking. People didn't approach Zaid Grayson. They calculated him, then stepped aside. Sadie Brooks was the opposite of calculation. She laughed too easily, apologized too quickly, and somehow still managed to walk through crowded hallways like she belonged in them. Not loud, not invisible, just present. And that was exactly why she became a problem for him. It started on a Monday that felt like every other Monday, until it wasn't. Sadie was late for chemistry, arms full of notes, bag slipping off her shoulder when someone bumped into her near the stairs. A stack of papers hit the floor like scattered confession. Laughter followed immediately. Not cruel at first, just entertained. "Careful," someone said. "Wouldn't want Brooks to break a nail." More laughter. Sadie knelt quickly, cheeks burning, trying to gather everything before the bell swallowed her whole. Then another shadow fell over her. She didn't look up at first. She just noticed the silence changing, laughter thinning, footsteps stopping, like the air itself had been told to behave. A hand reached down, picked up a sheet of paper, then another, calm, controlled, unhurried. Sadie finally looked up. Zaid Grayson, standing there like he had walked out of a different world. He didn't smile, didn't ask if she was okay, just handed her the papers. One by one, their fingers brushed once. Accidental, but it landed like something that shouldn't have happened in public. "Watch where you're going," he said. Not unkind, not warm either, just final. And then he walked away, leaving everyone confused. Because Zaid Grayson didn't pick up things people dropped, especially not for Sadie Brooks. After that, the school started noticing things. Small things first. Sadie's locker stopped being accidentally opened. Rumors that used to follow her at lunch stopped mid-sentence when Zaid walked past. People who used to laugh at her suddenly remembered they had better places to be. Sadie noticed, too. Unfortunately, because nothing is more unsettling than being protected by someone who never explains why. The second time they properly spoke was in the library. Rain outside. Muted light through tall windows. Sadie was studying alone when a book slid into the empty seat across from her. She looked up. Zaid Grayson was already sitting. No greeting, no permission asked, just there. Sadie blinked once. "You're in my seat," she said. His eyes didn't move from the page he opened. "No." A pause. Sadie frowned slightly. "Yes, actually." Only then did he look at her, slowly, like he was deciding whether she was worth the effort of a conversation. "This is a table," he said. Sadie stared at him. Then, despite herself, she let out a small laugh. It slipped out before she could stop it. Zaid noticed. Of course he noticed. His gaze paused for half a second longer than necessary, then returned to the book. "You laugh too easily," he said. "And you talk too little," she replied. A beat, something shifted in the air. Not friendly, not hostile either. Something in between that neither of them named. Days became like that. Accidental encounters that didn't feel accidental. Arguments that never fully turned into fights. Silences that stayed longer than they should have. Sadie started noticing things no one else saw. Zaid always left class 5 minutes early. He never ate lunch with anyone. He flinched, just slightly, whenever someone said his father's name too loudly. And once, only once, she saw his hand shake when he thought no one was watching. But when he noticed her looking, his face turned cold again. Like nothing had ever happened. Like he hadn't almost been human for half a second. Everything changed at the winter assembly. The school's biggest event. Too many people. Too many eyes. Too many reasons for Sadie to wish she had stayed home. She hadn't. Of course she hadn't, because Sadie Brooks never learned when to avoid storms. It started with a screen. A projector flickered behind the stage. Then images appeared, Sadie's face. Edited, manipulated. Fake messages, fake accusations. A carefully built lie dressed as truth. Whispers erupted instantly, then laughter, the kind that spreads faster than shame can defend itself. Sadie froze. The room tilted slightly. Her hands went cold. Someone had planned this. Someone wanted this. She couldn't breathe properly anymore. Then the sound of a chair scraping back cut through everything. Silence followed instantly, because everyone knew that sound too. Zaid Grayson stood up, slowly. No rush, no visible anger, just something heavier, more controlled, more dangerous. He walked forward, not toward Sadie, toward the stage. Every step made the room quieter, like instinctively, everyone understood consequences were arriving. He took the microphone, looked at the screen once, then spoke. "Turn it off." The projection froze, not because someone wanted to, because nobody dared not to. Zaid tilted his head slightly. "That was your best attempt?" No one answered. He exhaled slowly, then said, almost bored, "Pathetic." The word landed harder than shouting ever could. He didn't stay longer than necessary. He never did. When he stepped down, the room felt smaller than before. Sadie left quickly after that. Outside, cold air hit her face like relief. She kept walking until the noise of the building disappeared behind her, until she thought she was alone again. You always run after chaos. Sadie stopped, slowly turned. Zaid Grayson stood near the edge of the courtyard, hands in his pockets, watching her like he had been there longer than she realized. "I wasn't running," she said. "You were," he replied. A pause. Wind moved between them. Sadie swallowed. "Why did you do that?" Zaid looked at her for a long moment, not at the school, not at the night, just her. "Because I don't like unfair games," he said finally. "That's it?" His gaze sharpened slightly. No. Silence stretched. Sadie waited, but he didn't continue. Of course he didn't. Zaid Grayson never gave answers freely. After that night, something changed. Not dramatically, not suddenly, just quietly. Zaid stopped pretending she wasn't important, and Sadie stopped pretending she didn't notice him everywhere. They started talking more, fighting more, understanding less, but feeling more. It became a pattern neither admitted they liked. Then came the moment everything cracked open. Late evening, empty hallway. Rain tapping against windows like distant fingers. Sadie found him in the art corridor, standing in front of an old trophy case, completely still. Too still. She almost didn't speak, almost walked away. But something about him looked not dangerous, just tired. Zaid? He didn't turn immediately. When he did, his expression was different, less controlled, less untouchable. "What do you want, Sadie?" Not harsh, just quiet. She hesitated. "You never actually talk about yourself." A faint, humorless exhale. "Neither do you. That's not the same." A pause. Then, unexpectedly, "No," he said softly. "It isn't." He looked back at the trophy case, at a faded photo inside. Sadie stepped closer, saw a younger version of him, and a boy beside him. Smiling. "That was my brother," Zaid said. Sadie's voice softened. "What happened?" Silence, long enough to feel heavy. Then, "He trusted the wrong people." Sadie looked at him. Really looked. For the first time, she saw something underneath everything. Not arrogance, not control. Something broken that had learned how to stand upright anyway. Zaid finally spoke again. And now I don't trust anyone who doesn't leave before I ask them to stay. Sadie's breath caught slightly. That includes me? His eyes met hers. For a second, the world felt too quiet. Yes, he said, but he didn't move away, and neither did she. The silence between them didn't feel empty anymore. It felt like the moment before something irreversible. Like the entire story had finally decided which direction it was going to fall. And neither of them knew yet whether it would save them or ruin them.